There are so many people out there who are studying openings instead of learning how to win the game. In other words, if you are studying the London or any opening variation, how much will that really reward you toward winning a game versus learning specific strategic methods, maneuvers, plays, or honing your endgame skills toward pocketing further points and thereby gaining rating points? Our goal is that everyone should have an opportunity to become a better player. That is far more important than any individual win for rating points, because honestly, when you are a certain strength, the rating points just come and go. If you have a bad day, your rating returns to your true strength on the very next day. So there's no reason, absolutely no reason for anyone to be fretting over rating points or anyone getting help on any particular move when this is meant purely and entirely for training for actual real life events. You have to start at the beginning. Basically, you're going for an AP
Check
class
out the amazing
in
publisher,
chess
Informed, the most important chess publications and combinations download. Even more info. Check out more special pricing,
classes,
plus my YouTube
fundamentals,
Informant
your
playlist.
absolute basics, which are Lasker, Capablanca, Morphy, Alekhine. Then it becomes very difficult to jump into science at a higher level. Aim higher. Set your standards higher. Be better. I mean, you're aiming at a level of player that is more or less intermediate. I already did this comment, or I already made this comment earlier, that players under 2400 are intermediate. So if you aim higher, aim at becoming a better player. Basically, Gotham Chess is an advanced intermediate player. He is hoping to become a grandmaster for a reason, because then he will be a real player. I would only hope to do the same thing myself, as my rating is even lower and weaker. I'm not as good as Gotham Chess yet. I am a hop, skip, and a jump above beginner. And of course, the old discovered mate, I would actually like to call this the Reti mate, right? Where he sacked his queen on d8 and played bishop to g5 and bishop to d8 when the king ran to c7, as there were pawns here, rook on this square, knight on that square. So the Richard Reti mate followed by the Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. We are absolutely
Arsenal
ready.
fan Richie says, "Hi, John."
Good morning, Richie. How are you, bud? We are so ready for another day of sparring.
Nico Williams
and training.
says, "Hi."
Nico, good morning. How was your Father's Day, Richie? Happy belated Father's Day. I did mean to message, but I never sent any messages.
Arsenal
No.
fan Richie says, "Did I
Or
tell
did
you
you?
about my tourney at weekend?"
I think I might have heard. I think that you, but tell me again. I think it was Monday. Did you tell me on Monday? It was like 4.5 out of 5. No, that's
Arsenal
great,
fan
man.
Richie says, "Perhaps yeah."
No. That's very exciting. Absolutely exciting. Gonna have to lay off the ganja for the short-term memory. At least that's what I like to say. It's not necessarily true for anybody. I don't do that stuff. But where is, and I'm hoping that I have some eyeglass cleaners in my pocket. Yesterday we put down a new carpet in the living room, and when I turned over my recliner to move it out of the way, a pair of my favorite glasses fell out of the recliner, which I've been looking for quite some time. I haven't been playing music lately because the non-copyrighted music service has not been the same. Also, it slightly affects what I've got in the car, honestly. So when
Arsenal
I listen
fan
to stuff
Richie
in
says,
the car...
I was 4.5 out of 6. 4/5 versus 4.5 out of 5 board 1 in final round against best friend.
Nice.
We agreed draw in hypotheticals such as that for years, but was first time it happened. I was completely winning, +4, but offered a draw.
That's
He won
right.
clear first, I got tied second.
Nice.
I feel a bit depressed about it. Was I a fool?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I understand completely. I basically had a similar experience when I... what do I wish to do here with this fellow? I like the old main line best, but let's go with the line that is supposed to be very good. And why am I wasting a full minute on 7 theoretical moves? Right? That was a very strange move on my opponent's part, unless he knows something that I do not. Maybe.
Arsenal fan Richie says, oh no, the PTSD, I only lost one game in the tourney versus an FM playing white side of exchange Spanish.
Got tactically railed.
Arsenal fan Richie says, new TTS is significantly clearer BTW, good stuff.
Indeed. I believe I am actually going to pay for it. Can you imagine? God forbid. Now, is he going to be able to run? That is the question. Is he going to be able to run? I see, said the blind man. Is that the problem? That's very much a bummer. Very, very, very much a bummer.
Arsenal fan Richie says, that's a very well-timed resource.
So now what am I going to do with this fellow? I don't like it one bit. I do not like it one bit. He has seen this before. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Let me just go back in time here. This line is extremely tedious, but it is very well known to be good for black. So G5, Interesting. I can't block off my
Nicole
ability
Williams
to...
says, I have 3,000 points. Wow.
Nicely done. Sounds like you are ready for a challenge, sir. I think you were up for a bullet challenge the other day. This is still better for black. Rook to e1, still better for black. And it's at this point I
Arsenal
probably
fan
have to
Richie
give up
says,
on the idea.
Starbucks loyalty points.
I can't believe they have Starbucks in England where you are. Norway, I believe Starbucks was banned. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like Bishop D7.
Nika Williams says, Lou all no TikToks points.
The TikToks. I always wondered what else I could put for the points, but Pillsbury has such a massive score against me. And then knight g6 fits in. Fair enough. So was knight to c3 the best move here after queen f? No, I was expecting bishop e3, which is what he played last time when I played bishop to c5.
Arsenal fan Richie says, good. They should be banned here, also. I went to buy a coffee in a rush a few months back. They asked my name, then when my coffee was ready, just left it on the counter without calling my name out, for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
disgrace.
It's terrible. Yeah, I found $30 of Starbucks reward points the other day when I was cleaning out my wallet. I decided to combine all of the gift cards, so I found like $35 in movie ticket gift card that I added to my account so I don't have to carry around the random card. And there was also a I think it was exactly $30 because I already had $2 on my Starbucks card. So now I have $32 that I'd completely forgotten about. I don't live near a Starbucks, really. There used to be one when I was in... There used to be 2. 3 within a half-mile radius.
Says, $32 should go a long way. Might buy about 3 croissants.
Exactly. Maybe 4. Maybe 4 at the end of the day. The day olds. All right. Oh, no. Let's see here. All right. What can I improve? C3, E3. We're going to play E3 here. See if our opponent notices what we're doing.
Nika Williams says, say win now for you 800 rating. Arsenal fan Richie says, E3, the Queen's Gambit deferred.
Maybe. Maybe. Maybe it is a bird. Can I go this way? I'm going to see what he does. I'm just going to continue developing very solidly here until I cannot develop any longer. Let's see if he's paying attention. I know he seems to love his light squared bishop so much. This did not make sense completely.
Arsenal fan Richie says, not to be confused with the blurb, which is a small forewarning about the soundness of the bird opening book.
The blurb. I had a lot of success with the bird in my day. I really did.
Arsenal fan Richie says, lots of birds, I heard.
At least that was the word.
Arsenal fan Richie says,
at
Arsenal least that was the word.
I think Arsenal fan has been drinking. All right, I am going with the traditional. Oh no, sir, what did you do? No, what did you do? I was trying to get my knight to that square. That's why I played a4. That is indeed why I played a4. Now we are going to expand just a wee bit.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I haven't actually. I drank enough for us both on Monday though. Just chilling, had a couple of oranges, maybe they were starting to coentofy while on kitchen side,
That's very cool. Well, that should do it. Or should it? If I take, he takes, everywhere we take. I don't really want to give that one up, but I do want to gain time on it nonetheless. Rook to a1, rook takes a1 doesn't make sense. Bishop takes f6. Sylvie. We have the better pieces.
Arsenal fan Richie says, 34 Celsius here today.
My God. I feel like that should be quite hot. Right? Isn't that quite hot? Just a small threat. Did he notice the small threat? Or did he not? I do not know. But we'll find out.
Arsenal fan Richie says, yeah, it's pretty nasty in England when it gets like this, 'cause it's so humid the only way for the sweat to come out is to have a t-shirt to be absorbed into. Paul 1E4 says, hi Master Chess Dojo.
Good morning, Paul. All right. Let's give him a tempo, see if he's paying attention.
Arsenal fan Richie says, it's my mate from another state. Hi Paul.
My mate from another state. How lovely. This is a test. That was a good test. All right, moment of truth time. Am I going to get a pawn mate out of this deal?
Arsenal fan Richie says, ouch. Paul 1E4 says, hi Arsenal fan Richie. Are you worried about the exposure to injuries from so many Arsenal players in the World Cup?
I'm trying to get a pawn mate.
Says,
thank you.
BE2 mate bro.
Nika
Williams
no,
says,
he has...
ONVM. Arsenal fan Richie says, BE2 KF5 G4 was mate I think.
Oh, the knight was on G5. Yes, I think you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I hallucinated that he had F6.
Nika Williams says,
F5,
no
G4.
F6.
No, yes, exactly. Maybe I didn't hallucinate that he had King F6 because he did have King F6.
Arsenal fan Richie says,
but then
RF7.
Yeah, but I don't want to mate with the knight. I don't want to mate with the rook. I have to mate with
Arsenal
the...
fan Richie says, yeah?
So if I play rook f7, he might actually run in that direction. So this was the safe one. This was
Nika
absolutely
Williams
the safe
says,
one.
okay, but that's not pawn mate.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, guys. Let's do the socials, just in case no one has them. Back to tournament. Is there any hope? I missed the round 2 trying to set up the stream. The other day, was it Monday? One of the days at the start of the week. I don't even know what day of the week it was. One of the days, Paul Morphy's birthday, the 22nd. I did not, it was Monday, have Kick running, and I had to reinstall Streamlabs and do all the hullabaloo yesterday before I could start the stream. Today I should have been relatively on time, but for entering the results into for billiards last night very late.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I am not too concerned, Paul. I think they will all get an extended break after coming back from World Cup anyway, and then we can see the strength in depth of others in the squad. Nika Williams says, maybe I play you, John.
Maybe. I really love this, the football element that we have going between Paul, Arsenal fan, and I am, unfortunately, as an American, a little handicapped in the football field.
Nika Williams says, no, I get free point lol. Paul 1E4 says, Saka is injury prone anyway.
Oh no, what did you do that for? By the way, if I played knight c6 in that position, queen f3 check, king g8, and knight g5 is pretty much instant mate. For those of you who did not know it, if black plays knight c6 and does not have the d5 square controlled, then queen f3 check, king g8. It's a very lovely trap, and knight to g5 is mate because of the short diagonal, as well as the threats to f7. And there's just no way to stop it. Queen e7, queen d5, thank you very much. So d5
Arsenal
is a
fan
must.
Richie says, he's only started to get injuries in last 2 seasons, just because he was playing 50 games a season without any rest before that. I think he's no more prone than anyone else, just unfortunate timing.
That was very silly of me to allow the loss of my pawn with check. Are we able to do this? Are we able to do this? So is he getting something? I do not realize what he's up to so easily. And now...
Arsenal fan Richie says, this looks scary for white.
It should be scary for white. It's scary for me.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I thought you might have tried BD6 instead of RxF2 TBH. Arsenal fan Richie says, but this is probably good.
Is there an X-ray here that I'm unfortunately concerned about or should be concerned about? There could well be a little bit of an X-ray here that I am not concerned enough about.
Arsenal fan Richie says, everything is fine I think.
Indeed. We're just trying to get there from here, folks.
Arsenal fan Richie says, for you, of course, not want.
We've managed to get the whole gang into the party.
Nika Williams says, I have this weekend a tournament.
Excellent. You should be posting this in the IRL tournaments in the Discord. I think, where did I see Arsenal fan Richie's? Oh no, we had talked about a different tournament, I remember. We didn't talk about a different tournament. We had, here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check.
Naka Williams says, are you going to participate or visit any tournament?
Well, there is the World Open coming up.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I think another option could have been 15. X1, X1 RF2 and QXH3, but perhaps there was nothing after KG1, not sure.
Yeah, maybe there's nothing here, right? Where does he think he's going? Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check.
Arsenal fan Richie says, oh no wait QXG2 is mate, so yeah. Paul 1E4 says, if there is a forced mate, I don't see it. Nika Williams says, I see the mate. NM John MacArthur says, a dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at Nika Williams says, I thought Kuj 3 HK1 X1 X1 RG2 and he need to give IP his queen.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm playing this correctly, but let's have fun. Nine seconds.
Williams says, not sure if this wins. G5. Nika Williams says, now it wins. Arsenal fan Richie says, G5 there was QH4 I think.
So.
Nika Williams says, but NH3 and you're safe. Arsenal fan Richie says, NH3BXH3. Arsenal fan Richie says, doesn't look safe.
The old removing the defender trick, eh?
Nika Williams says, but I take rook and escape via G1.
Oh no! It helps if I move faster. I am a rapid and classical kind of a guy.
Arsenal fan Richie
we will
says,
return to that
there's
one.
no time to take the rook.
There's
Nika
no
Williams
time to take
says, oh I play you John.
Luke. Luke. All right. No reason, no time to read the meter. Oh, yes, we had this line the other day. Let's see how further we've gotten in this one. Yes. And
Nika Williams says, I don't know QF3 lol.
it's all right. I'm digging up the old theory before you were born. This is one of the reasons why I like studying the Botvinnik-Smyslov matches and the early 1900s matches. You know, the E6 lines of the Sicilian were being played by Louis Paulson in the 1800s. And he also considered having, or what is going on here? What do you think you're doing? Interesting.
Arsenal
Let's throw this one in
says,
for good
it
grids.
was being played by 1800s in the 1800s.
Indeed. Played by 1800s in the 1800s, yes.
Paul 1E4 says, I was expecting NXC5.
No, I was setting him up, unfortunately. There's no reason to trade off pieces when you know that your opponent might put them on squares where you can take them for free. He is going to have to do a little bit more. And now for something completely different. Am I concerned?
Arsenal fan Richie says, I'm just guessing you're a Nottingham Forest fan or Welsh. Paul 1E4 says, a 2100 hung his queen?
No, sir. I'm afraid that position may need to go into the tactical book, yes. Just because I don't have enough of those. I don't have enough lateral forks. You and I, we've seen it all. I can't remember the next lyric from Chess the Musical. You and I, we've seen it all.
Arsenal fan Richie says, he clearly was just farming 69% accuracy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was farming with 69% accuracy? Oh no, the 2100 hung as queen, yes. Oh, you were talking about Arsenal fan Richie was the one. And so here we go. Where is it? Need to turn on the engine for a moment. I do not know what
Nika
the best
Williams
move is.
says, trash game from me lol.
Well, I mean,
Arsenal
I set you
fan
up
Richie
twice.
Says, it happens, no worries.
I did set you up twice. I'm so sorry. All right, engine's off. We can return. I don't necessarily know if that was the reason why chess coach Andres was caught. Having chess base up or having a chess base up engine up and running in the background is not enough. That
Arsenal fan Richie says,
caught.
I hung a queen once, Paul. Yesterday. And again once, the day before.
That should be a Beatles song. I want to rewrite the Beatles songs in the form of chess lyrics, sung to the pseudo melody of the Beatles.
Arsenal fan Richie says, "It seems my yellow goal is just so far away."
Exactly. How far is Liverpool from
Micah
London?
Williams says, "What's your FIDE rating?"
It's also low. My FIDE rating and my US Chess Federation rating.
Arsenal fan Richie says, "About 250 miles."
So it's like a 6-hour drive. Actually, it might be longer than that because many of those roads are not exactly the M4. Uh-oh, 7:03. Oh my God. Can you imagine what's going on here? We've not yet started the other event. I'm going to disappear for a moment. I apologize. And I need to send... I need to defer this event by about 10 minutes. What do we think? And we'll send out...
Arsenal fan Richie says, 178 as the crow flies apparently, but 220 my road.
Copy link address. Streaming.
Nika Williams says, "Bro, say your real rating."
I do not say my real rating. I do not believe in that at all. That is not cool. How much money do you make, Nico? It's one of those things, right? It's a very sensitive subject. It's like, what tax bracket are you in?
Arsenal fan Richie says, "He's a national master. That means you have to have at minimum 2,200 USCF."
That is true. That was for the qualifications.
Nika Williams says, "But I asked you."
Thank you, Richie. Is he going to do that? I do believe I can continue to do this.
Arsenal fan Richie says, "What size boxers do you wear?"
What size boxers do you wear? Now there's a rather poignant question. Mm-hmm.
Nika Williams says, "That's a personal question."
Did I get forked? It looks as though I might have gotten forked. Darn it. Forked.
Arsenal fan Richie says, "It's just a number, bro, I asked."
You are correct. It is just a number. All right, let's take everything. Let's see if we can get
Nika
several
Williams
pawns
says,
out of the deal.
"Okay." Arsenal fan Richie says, "I'm just pulling your leg, not that one."
Not that one indeed.
Nika Williams says, strange.
Yeah. I'm still not getting what I want out of this deal at all. Knight takes, queen takes. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it would have been better to go the other way, perhaps. But perhaps not. This is all bad. It's all bad. I got a little frisky. I admit it. Got very, very frisky here with this Austrian attack. This seemed like it was totally unnecessary. G6, yeah. And then G5, G6 again. Queen A5 check is not good. I just have to get my kingside pieces out as fast as humanly possible. And on the other front, what was the other front that I was concerned about? E4, knight takes E4. That's also a possibility. And B takes A4 as necessary. And after C3, knight takes D2, queen takes D2. Bishop A6. I'm not a big fan. We're going to have to go with that one. But I'm really, really suffering here. But it doesn't look so bad.
Arsenal fan Richie says, what is your rating, Nico?
Let's throw this question around like crazy.
Nika Williams says, 12.
I guess I was 15,
Nika Williams
right?
says, oh.
That is the famous line from Searching for Bobby Fischer. I used to answer that way. 15. 15 is the quote from...
Arsenal fan Richie says, OTB or online? Which site?
Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. Congratulations to Eric Schmid. Did he do me in at the end? I think he did.
Nika Williams says, you?
Had I won, would I have had a chance? 3, 4, no. A very lackluster day with 50%. And we're on to the Rapid and Blitz. With just enough time for coffee. Let's go to the inbox. Let's not do the streaming. Actually, this could work. Copy. We'll put it in the Discord. We're way overdue for putting I have not gotten to the Discord lately. I had a little bit of a
YouTube
hitch
says,
on my
arena
phone.
tournament, please.
We're in the Summer Swiss Series when we have more time. We have arena tournaments all year long. Let's see here.
Arsenal fan Richie says, 1900 FIDE.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Nika Williams says, M2K FIDE.
Then I need to put this, Control C. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing.
Skynet says, thank you for following Rice Pudding 62.
Copy URL. Let's put that in.
Rice Pudding 62 says, Olks got the New York Knicks in the Bacalmao, enjoying that ring, huh?
And then
Rice Pudding 62 says, folks.
Control C. Control V. And then we have to do at everyone. And we'll got it up. Thank you for following Rice Pudding. Where could rice pudding be from? Rice pudding is a favorite in India. Got the New York Knicks in the back. Nice. Yes, indeed. Knicks Brotherhood. I've been going to Knicks games since I first came to New York in the 1990s. I'm trying to think if my earliest game, I mean, I actually got to shake Patrick Ewing's hand, Pat Riley's hand, John Stark's definitely. I do not think that I was able
Paul
to
24 says, the last Knicks game I attended was in 1997.
Oh, no. I was going to Knicks games before you. Well, I mean, before then. I distinctly remember 94 playoffs, the 94 playoffs.
Rice Pudding 62 says, my mother used to work for a hotel in Jamaica that Patrick Ewing went to frequently.
Nice. He was tall, and when you shake their hands, both Pat Riley and Patrick Ewing, you shake their hands, and their hands feel like they can wrap around yours twice. It's
Paul
like
24 says,
inhuman.
the first Knicks game I attended was in 1980. It was Earl Monroe's last game.
Plunge immediately. Nico, you are 2,000 feet, eh? So I often talk about the rating being an average of your performance overall. I have a feeling, Nico, that if you actually worked on your tactics, and there are 3 books you could do on Chessable that you could that would easily help you. One is Improve Your Chess Tactics by Neistat. 2, after you finish Improve Your Chess Tactics by Neistat, you could do...
Paul 24 says, my USCF rating has fallen this year.
I apologize, I did them out of order. I actually like the 1001 Chess Tactics and Stratagems
says,
by
why?
Reinfeld.
This is the count where I don't play my main openings, otherwise I get prepped.
No, you haven't been losing because of your openings, though. You've been losing your games because of tactical weaknesses. Even in our first game, you missed a tactical
this is
weakness.
A hot take. Prep isn't worth 800 elo.
Indeed, hot take. No, it has nothing to do with the plans.
I don't know the plans, lol.
You either know how to move the pieces or you don't. This is why I make a living at teaching, training, and coaching chess. You, unfortunately, have to just listen, all right? It's like Mr. Miyagi. I apologize for the frankness here, but I've been doing this for 40 years.
Arsenal fan Richie says, don't hang your pieces is a transferable idea.
Exactly. It applies to all openings. Do not hang your pieces applies to all openings. All right. I'm going to play a really old line. Oh, no,
Micah Williams says, yup, just having a bad day.
My opponent just gave away a pawn. We've seen it all.
Jury Goose 6 says, how's it going?
Good morning, JG. How are you, bud? Should we tag him? I feel like we should tag him. We're going to tag him again. I feel like we should tag him again. We want to trade pieces.
Jury Goose 6 says, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Now, this fellow, for example, did not lose this game because he did not know the opening theory. I just want you to know that. This fellow did not lose the game because he did not know the opening theory. This fellow lost the game because
Nika Williams says, I'm getting roasted. Paul 1E4 says, he lost because he hung too much stuff.
well, basically it was all tactical stuff, right? What am I worried about here? Let's get this one rolling. Rolling. And now for something completely indifferent. I'm so far away from the king. It's very annoying. Yeah, I didn't mean to touch my knight and put it on that square, unfortunately. So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Let's give him a check up. I changed my mind. Can't checkmate him with a pawn? Very annoying. All right, fine.
Arsenal fan Richie says, just a bit of gentle initiation hazing. Like a fraternity.
And believe it or not, we've made it difficult. Good work, sir. Shows him on. Shows him on. Rook and knight versus
Paul1E4 says, this game should have been over by now.
yeah,
Arsenal fan Richie says,
I agree.
Just had my life saved. I saw some beautiful Calabria ham in fridge. I uncharacteristically read the expiry date, which was 1 week ago. Nika Williams says, no, it's just not funny. Nika Williams says, but okay. Arsenal fan Richie says, it depends which side of the hazing you're on, I guess. Wait until the newcomers join and you're one of the seniors, you'll love it. I can tell that about you.
Indeed. Oh, we are running the risk of the 50 move rule here. Right? Or are we? Can I restrict that knight at all? Here a check, there a check, not a check.
Nika Williams says, okay, sure.
So now aha. We needed a relatively high-class waiting move. This should do it. Oh, maybe it doesn't do it. Aha! We zooked him. Did we zook him? Let's find out. Let us find out if we zooked him. We should have a capture coming up soon. I could have hung my rook there. Oh, that's a bummer. Back to the start. Terrible technique on my part.
NM John MacArthur says, a dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at.
This is why my rating is low. I apologize to everyone who should be fed up with how I did not win that game. My God. A pre-move, of all things.
Paul 1E4 says, he lost with 9 minutes on his clock.
He should have lost with more. All right. Well, that's very clever. I hover over my opponent's name and I get the reverse board as well. I've been looking into the Black-Mardemer C6 systems just because I think that this is a great way to get into the Black-Mardemer, honestly. He's going to get a Rosen trophy, right? Isn't he? This is why they play these openings, right? It is why they play these openings.
Nika Williams says, offer him a draw.
No, no, no. That's a 4-letter word. Watch your language there, sir.
Paul 1E4 says,
I thought about
you are
banning
better
that
because
word.
you have a queenside pawn majority.
Indeed I do. Thank you, Paul. That is correct. That is a very, very important and instructive comment. I am also threatening his pawn right now. He has to guard his pawn on c5. I literally threatened his pawn with this move, and I might even get a passed pawn out of the deal. Very strange. Alrighty then. And now for something completely different.
Paul 1e4 says, he gave you the bishop bear, a passer, and a pawn.
Right? He was so kind. It was craziness. And now it looks like he's trying for bishops of opposite colors. But let's grab the only open file that there is. If I attack him, he must move, right? So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check.
Arsenal fan Richie says, and you are also better cause you have gold letters next to your name and he only has a question mark.
He only has a question mark.
McSkynet says, Pegasus_Sway just subscribed with tier 1.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Ron Hay. 60 months, 5 years. So I grew up on Smyslov, and Smyslov did seek the exchange of queens in the vast majority of his games. What in the world, folks?
Paul 1e4 says, this is resignable.
It is resignable, but he has every right to try to slime himself into a stalemate. I wasn't going to give in, though. I think I would have made a few more efforts to get the kingside pawns clarified. Time out for coffee. Namaste, Ron. Ron Hay, ladies and gentlemen, one of the legends.
Arsenal fan Richie says, wow, 60 months. You get less than that for rigging elections.
How much do we get for rigging elections? Actually, you have a different legal system. There was a great comedian the other day. You might not know who it was. I shared it on Instagram.
Paul 1e4 says,
how Michael
BRB after breakfast.
Michael B. Jordan could never, ever be Superman because Superman has to be white. And there's a very logical obvious reason for this, and that is because Superman believes in the justice system. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. I shared it on Instagram. The whole reel is funny. I don't know if this comedian has come back.
Arsenal fan Richie says, my joke is also resignable.
I do not know if I'm taking my grandson to school, but if I am going to have to disappear for 10 minutes, as usual. I should find out right now while the door is closed. I can't hear them. Oh, the door is not completely closed, I guess. Are we ready? That's not good. I was debating. I was asking, telling my student, let me find out what I need to talk about. I'm sorry, Bubs. Uh-oh. The grandson is under the weather. He may be staying home. My wife is willing to walk to the train station. I, on the other hand, am hoping that it is not like an iPad virus. It's where you have to stay home and be on the iPad instead of going to school. He's only got 3 days of school left. Today, tomorrow, and Friday. And tomorrow they're celebrating all of the summer birthday guys. Which is awkward. August, I think I have to switch. I don't know if I want to switch Pegasus and MD Night Zero or not, but last but not least, MD Night Zero is among the supporters of the stream. They've donated, let's just say, more than 10K bits, or 10,000 in a raid. Super GM Peter Svedler, 8-time Russian champion. Let's see how Ibra Kadibra is doing. I don't really want to trade. I guess this does prevent the trade for the moment. Mm-hmm. 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 What can Ibra Kadibra do? He's got a lot of pressure on his opponent. Definitely the extra watch time checking out the shorts on YouTube is priceless. This is not a good idea, Ibra Kadibra. I think that we forgot the opponent's main threat.
Nika Williams says, blunder.
I mean, you might as well at least have taken a pawn for it, right? And he'd still let him take a pawn for it. Let's take a pawn for it. C5 to cut him off. King E2. Or King E3. No, King E3 is no good. Is that bishop trapped over there? That is the question. Ooh, ouch, 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 ouch. I would have gone for this one. But okay, I understand. What? Do not drive this king closer up the board. I mean, I would really be running up here for the most part. But then again, we're down material, so what are we really looking for anyway? This could make things a little bit more manageable. Bishop is... Might as well take it. Might as well capture it at this point. I don't think this is really useful. Oh, maybe it is. He didn't go after the pawn. I think he should have just gone after the pawn. The rook versus bishop does win, even with that rook's pawn. Rook versus bishop wins, even with that pawn. Because you're going to distract him with that outside pass pawn. All you need to do, really, is simplify. Do not leave him with this. Again... Yep, this seems like a perfectly reasonable plan. And that pawn being on the board is almost causing the consternation that it needs to. Oh, very clever plan.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I don't like d4, pawn on d3, did good job stopping king entry.
Yep, but it may not matter. Oops. It may have been a little early for that one. We should have pushed our pawn, let him push his pawn.
Paul 1e4 says, if you win you can say you beat Ding. Nika Williams says, it doing
Just
work.
Ding. Address Ding.
Nika Williams says, king move away.
It doesn't work unless it's check. That's the problem.
Arsenal fan Richie says, miraculous.
And all because he didn't take the a5 pawn and keep the h7 pawn. He wanted to keep 2 pawns on the board. He wanted to keep more material on the board. Oh my god, that was terrible technique. What was going on there? Hold the phone here. So here. Yes, that's how it ended. But All right, moment of truth.
Jake Cisco says, hello, I'm show_Zaman.
This check, right? This check. The queen has to block. I actually want to see this. Just for a moment. Humor me, folks. Humor me, because I believe that this should be checkmate in a few moves. Oh, well, queen takes g1 was the fastest mate. Never mind. But I wanted to do something along these lines. Ta-da! There we go. That was something similar to my idea. Where you don't need to do the old boring mate.
Paul1E4 says, one of these days you are going to outsmart yourself.
Nicely done, show. I think you were on the better end of that one, right? That was very impressive that you got away with that. You threatened his g5 pawn. For some reason, he moved it again. You got your pawn to a7, and I think it was very difficult for your opponent then with this time pressure. Quite crazy. I do want to know what people know. Wow. So, I do want to know what people know. Does he have the new book by Fidel Corrales? Yeehaw. And now for something completely indifferent. Can I get away with this? Bishop takes.
Arsenal fan Richie says, nice idea.
I don't think it's good. I actually do not think that it's good. Or is it?
Arsenal fan Richie says, I don't see why it isn't. Arsenal fan Richie says, but I am mediocre.
I could lose a piece here if I recapture the wrong way. You are handsome.
Arsenal fan Richie says, at least I'm handsome, I guess.
As are all proper gunners. Unfortunately, I was watching some show where the leads were from Ohio. And unfortunately, there's like pseudo really terrible jokes about Ohio, meaning that if you're from Ohio, you should be missing a tooth or something.
Arsenal fan Richie says, true. Spoken like a true gunner.
Rolling, waiting.
Arsenal fan Richie says, swish, very nice combo.
Svish, svash, svish, splash. All right. It doesn't look like I'm accomplishing much here, does it? Not at all.
Arsenal fan Richie says, how are your games going, Nico?
What in the world, sir? What in the world, sir? You cannot get back that pawn.
Nika Williams says, not good lol, I don't know what I'm doing today.
So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check.
Arsenal fan Richie says, want
board.
Me to take a gander and say if I notice anything? Or just wanna ride it out?
Oh, this is a bummer. It truly is a bummer. I let my opponent off the hook. He's a good player.
Nika Williams says, no, I do it myself. L Nathan 1823 says, what tournament is that? Nika Williams says, I'm losing this game but I'm second.
Well, I'm rolling, waiting.
Arsenal fan Richie says, it is a tournament for anyone in the club. Want me to shoot you a link to join?
Ah, yes. He should also join all of the other dojos. We are currently.
L Nathan 1823 says, okay.
We're going to chalk this game up to who has the safer king.
Nika Williams says, why has everyone this number is their name, every time I hear all the numbers?
Who has the safer king?
Arsenal fan Richie says, because El Nathan was taken and there were 1822 other people with the same idea for a username. Nika Williams says, yeah, I also think.
Where does he think he's going? So that's checkmate in 2. So he's got a couple of threats. It's somewhat annoying. Let's just weaken our king. Unfortunately, we're going to weaken our king, and we're going to cross our fingers. That our king is not weaker than our opponent's king.
El Nathan 1823 says, bro, what about it?
So is this check, that check, here check, there check? This is really annoying.
Arsenal fan Richie says, nothing mate, you're good. Someone else asked why you had numbers in your name. Nika Williams says, okay, my opponent had 100% accuracy.
Yes, check, check.
El Nathan 1823 says, bruh.
Let's go for it. You only live once. We're here to win. We're here to try to win. This was our original idea. We will see if it works. This was the original idea.
Paul 1E4 says, Larry Christiansen had 100% accuracy when he beat Karpov in 12 moves. El Nathan 1823 says, imagine bro through the game.
Ark.
Pegasus Sway says, I think f6 was not the best move, rd5 was better. McSkynet says, please hail the presence of the legendary, of the Vac Show Chess Club, a long-standing VIP supporter of the stream. Thank you, Ron, for all that you do. Nika Williams says, yeah, but also weird 6 moves 6. h6. Arsenal fan Richie says, yeah, that is a bit sus. By a bit, I mean a lot.
I'm trying to think of the Magnus Carlsen endgame. Magnus Carlsen endgame. What is the buck? I believe this is in Magnus Carlsen Endgame Virtuoso. In the first chapter, under 2100 years, I believe this is going to go down as one of the comebacks if it works. But I believe it's already working.
El Nathan 1823 says, win.
Indeed.
Paul 1E4 says, he should have promoted instead of checking. Nika Williams says, and the game before 98%.
He couldn't promote instead of checking. It's checkmate in one move. It's still checkmate in one move. I'm threatening checkmate on the back rank, which is very lucky for me. Whew, it hurt him more than it hurt me. That much is true. But he did not respect my idea. Number one rule, what is the opponent's big idea? Not cool. Let's go back to that for a moment.
Paul 1E4 says, okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
El Nathan 1823 says, imagine the king teleported to A1 and bro resigns and bro become World Cup champion and bro beat Magnus by abortion ha 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 and Hikaru POV, what the heck bro, how an NM beat a 5-time world champion.
Alrighty, I need to wrap my head around everything
yeah,
you just said.
I'm going through them, he seems pretty obvious. 7-year-old account. Amazing they can go so long without a ban tbh. Radek Pribble 31 says, congrats good game. Nika Williams says, yes other games also 99%.
Really?
El Nathan 1823 says, 6,767.
That's good. No, I was
Arsenal
hoping it
fan
wasn't
Richie
Ibra.
Says, not Ibra.
Ah.
Arsenal fan Richie says, Schmeet Eric.
Thank you for doing
Nika
that.
Williams
I
says,
try not to
I
report
reported him
because I carry too much weight. So as it turns out, a player who really was a much stronger player than me was playing on a relatively brand new account once.
And John MacArthur says, a dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Nika Williams says, no Schmeet Eric, not this guy.
Thank you, Ethan, for that. Never back down, never what? Indeed. Yeah, I was very lucky in this game. I'd played this so well to get to this stage. This was terrible, right? Now now that one you faked me out. I thought Matcha Latte Bob had arrived. So rook on f to e8 is nice and solid. Why didn't I do that? And here, bishop c8. I would never find bishop c8. Bishop d3 is the human move.
Arsenal fan Richie says, you'd be amazing how many people do it, John. I have had 3 people from my chess club, 2 have left since, who cheated frequently. It's pretty amazing that even people who have a reputation to lose do it.
Interesting. Well, no, the one fellow, and then I looked back at the game and it wasn't that bad.
Why?
Arsenal fan Richie says, they all got banned online.
No, but I'm saying that, honestly, this fellow, the one time, I looked back at the game and it was actually quite atrocious on both our parts, but I had the immediate feeling and someone else said something, and so therefore I reported him. Then he got banned immediately. It was a brand new account, and he sent me his FIDE ID number. And I mean, obviously he could have been using the dabbling of the engine response. There could have been a whole bunch of bad moves around it. But he sent me his legitimate ID / not quite passport and his FIDE ID. And I felt terrible about it, but there was nothing I could do.
Hello there.
Queen to g4. This is all still better for me. Even here, it's
El
still
Nathan
better
1823 says, I hope we fight.
Queen to c4. It's still better for me. Still better for me. And I should play this now. Oh, because silly me. He doesn't have... I was hallucinating that he has rook to e8, queen h5 mate. But this was my plan all along. Amazingly enough, this was my plan all along. And then I finally get it after F6 when
El
it's
Nathan
terrible.
1823 says, tournament started.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ethan. All right, and we're off. Let's see. I don't know if Eric is suspect yet, but obviously.
Arsenal fan Richie says, dude, another account I reported on my alt, not chat banned, got banned. Arsenal fan Richie says, I swear I have about a 95% accuracy rate.
I don't know, he's from Hungary. He could be very, very strong.
Arsenal fan Richie says, 21-point refund, that's nice. El Nathan 1823 says, BR08 Eric Hansen for dinner ha ha ha.
Bro,
Micah
Eric
Williams
Hansen for
says,
dinner.
oh you are playing him. Arsenal fan Richie says, that's complete bollocks, John. I love you, but nobody gets 99% for 4 games in a row. Micah Williams says, and OFC he does this so he doesn't get caught.
We'll see how the chess police handle it.
Arsenal fan Richie says, if I'm right, you can buy me a beer.
I will certainly buy you a beer. In fact, I'm looking for any excuse to find a way to travel this summer without necessarily incurring too much expense. But because
El
of
Nathan 1823 says, 7,823,499.
What number is this?
Micah Williams says, 3,14159233535. Arsenal fan Richie says, prime numbers maybe?
All right. So there is a little bit of a problem occurring here. We'll worry about it later.
Micah Williams says, 3-141-592-653-589-7 Micah Williams says, that's spy.
All right, first things first.
El Nathan 1823 says, I am saying how to eat lunch. Step 1 eat Naka. Step 2 eat Carlsen. Step 3 give beer to Micah Williams.
Interesting. I think I have to do this first. And then perhaps this. Takes. Oh, it's so tempting. This is check, unfortunately. Yes.
El Nathan 1823 says, I don't even know if I'm losing or winning.
That was a good tactical response. Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check.
Nuka Williams says, nobody knows, only the cheaters.
No, that was such an obvious tactical response. Darn it. So silly of me.
Nuka Williams says, see he is cheating, ha ha ha.
It's very likely.
Fan Richie says,
very
reported.
likely. Let's batten down the hatches on this one.
El Nathan 1823 says, I. El Nathan 1823 says, up.
So
Arsenal
here,
fan
there,
Richie says,
and everywhere.
but it's good that the flag people use lets them get a pass on the actual evidence on the board.
So I'm losing the exchange.
El Nathan 1823 says, I. El Nathan 1823 says, C. El Nathan 1823 says, U.
All
El Nathan
right,
1823 says, P.
This is where I need Arsenal fan Richie.
Arsenal fan Richie says, please stop. El Nathan 1823 says, K. Nika Williams says, you need to make someone mod. Nika Williams says, like a renal fan.
Arsenal fan, yes.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I used to be mod, but usually people were well behaved. I prefer purple badge.
Yeah, he has always been a VIP. I'm going to lose the exchange no matter what, right? Is this true, that I'm going to lose the exchange no matter what? Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes. Maybe not.
Naka Williams says, you're VIP, that's so many points.
Fascinating.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I'm not far from 150k Nico, if you play your cards right and keep turning up in the mornings I'll redeem a VIP for you.
It is just crushing. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. The follow-up to that move was very logical. And the follow-up to this move is extremely logical too.
FR?
Oh, come on.
Arsenal fan Richie says, yeah?
Wasn't it just mate? Oh no, is it not mate because of this?
Nika Williams says, I'm always here are the stream. Nika Williams says, it's good to be here.
Thank you, Nico. So meanwhile, there should be a cooldown on the chat. That is what I have not yet enabled. I think I may need to pay for the service to get the cooldown.
Arsenal fan Richie says, good to have you here, man.
So meanwhile, average set upon loss is pretty low. Is he in the stream? Are you here, Eric? What do you have to say for yourself? I mean, I know that I played this last one really poorly. All right? Really, really poorly. But I'm just getting run over.
Arsenal fan Richie says, okay, John. Unless this is Richard Rapport, 100%, 99%, 99%, 99%, 98% and 97% consecutively is rather unlikely. Nicole says, he has again 97%.
I have to agree with you. Although it was very strange that he doesn't play a very normal move. Right?
Arsenal fan Richie says, and even if it was Richard Rapport, Pillsbury would probably force an 80% accuracy game.
I'm going to use your exact quote. I'm surprised that it didn't make me fill out a Maiden 1 form, right? Shouldn't I have had to prove that I'm a human by filling out a Maiden 1 visual? All right, Echo Rift.
Arsenal fan Richie says, nah, most of the people reporting were never able to do them.
Yeah, Pillsbury definitely has my number for the most part. But I've beaten Pillsbury so many times when I just don't lose.
Arsenal fan Richie says, and me, yeah.
I'm just very happy his name is Pillsbury. I think it's very fitting. I used to be Alakine. I'm happy that I don't have the name Alakine as much anymore. But it is very much a bummer that I can't hold Alakine. I don't know about that. What was that all about, sir? What were you doing? Why didn't you just play Rook to B1? What was going on there? I mean, it's possible that he's going to create an outside pass pawn over here, right? But I don't see how he's going to do it if we just play Rook to B1.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I think slow _ impending _ march _ of _ would be a more appropriate name. Naka Williams says, next opponent from him just needs to not move entire game, so he gets reported.
I don't know if that will do it. Unfortunately, this is just going to be winning here. Our king is too far away to stop it. We need to run like crazy back there. Echo Rift. This was not the way to draw this position. You cannot. This was a good move, but you had to keep your king centered. That pawn can be held. This pawn, this side of the board needs to be held. You can't let him get a passed pawn. If you let him get a passed pawn, we're toast.
Nika Williams says, lol, he says him just in good mood.
Oh, and he gives you a passed pawn. No! Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. This is the wrong colored rook's pawn. So this could work out. This could very well work out. Wrong colored rook's pawn. Wow. If he draws this game, that will be very impressive. Gotta push it. King up. No, dude, we have to go up there. Now our bishop is overworked and we're not going to be able to defend. Oh, no.
Arsenal fan Richie says, you want to know another giveaway? He said easy win after a win. Nobody who's actually good at chess disrespects opponents like that, because they know how hard it is to actually get good in the first place.
That's correct. And we shake hands. Nicely done, guys. Oh, no. Now we lose. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Can we?
Nika Williams says, because it has happened many times before, this was also what he said.
That's so bizarre that he would say something like that. But this game was a draw. For those of you who did not necessarily see it. Echo Rift, I hope you're watching. So in this position, right, all you really need to do is bring your king back. Let him take that pawn. Move your king back and forth. Oh, let's go forward while we're at it. Because this pawn
says, wrong color bishop, cannot force promotion.
Exactly. So all you had to do is park yourself on h1. You did all the heavy lifting. You did all the heavy lifting to draw that game. Your opponent was sloppy. It was like whoever was going to be sloppiest last. It's very sad. I don't seem to have lost any rating points to that fellow. Or did I? I can't recall. What?
Pegasus Sway says, KF6 perhaps victory. El Nathan 1823 says, finally I can talk.
I'm so sorry that I had to do that to you, though. Right? This is not really
Arsenal
a move,
fan
right?
Richie says, lol.
I think this is the right way to approach it. And now that his bishop has committed, oh, you're not trapped. That is unfortunate. So we're going to have to get a rook to the 7th rank the old-fashioned way.
El Nathan 1823 says, wait, what I gotta buy? Naka Williams says, He also now plays a6 and h6 on first two moves to not get caught. Ridiculous this.
There's a lot more going on in this position than one would imagine. First off, we're going to give him the checkup on that side of the board. And then does he have anything else going on here? Can we give him all of that? Takes. He can't get castled yet.
Arsenal fan Richie says, poor on. Arsenal fan Richie says, he doesn't even know.
Can I? May I? I guess we'll find out. That's interesting. He stopped me from doing the first thing, but he didn't stop me from doing the other thing.
Nathan1823 says, why do you have an extra millisecond on your time and your opponent's time?
Why do I have an extra millisecond? That's a very good question. So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Am I at all concerned about this? I am mildly concerned. Let us think about this for a moment. Back rank mate problems. Always an issue. First things first.
Paul1E4 says, you're playing for Norway?
I am playing for Norway. Let's grab one more pawn before we are out of it.
El Nathan 1823 says, is a 2500 rated chess.com, all gamma modes, better than a candidate master on the board? Arsenal fan Richie says, probably depends on the time control. In a classical game OTB, probably the CM would win, just because even online classical is significantly different to real tournaments with time control. El Nathan 1823 says, all gamma modes is 2500.
Am I concerned about this? I am mildly concerned about this.
El Nathan 1823 says, no, but it's a 1v1, not a tournament. Arsenal fan Richie says, yes, I'm just talking about OTB scenario, different feel to online, writing moves down, sweaty playing hall, stress etc. Paul 1E4 says, KG5 was a mistake.
Yeah, indeed it was. So I was just talking about this the other day. The tricky part is that I do not need
Arsenal fan Richie says, nice maneuver. El Nathan 1823 says, bro, a normal human brain can't even reach 100% capacity. Arsenal fan Richie says, speak for yourselves.
What about the neuro gum? What about the neuro gum that is promoted by our good friend, Mr. Rogan?
El Nathan 1823 says, can you reach it? Arsenal fan Richie says, it's lonely.
This is very unfortunate.
El Nathan 1823 says,
No, I'm trying for an under promotion, mate. Dude, I'm trying for an under promotion, mate. There's a reason why I didn't check you on G1. If I'd wanted a normal checkmate, I would have checked checkmated on, I would have rook g1 checked. If you're going to play on.
Arsenal fan Richie says, the smarter you are, the more obvious everything becomes. When it becomes too obvious, it becomes physically painful seeing the manipulation and Machiavellianism at play everywhere. It's better to be ignorant in some ways.
'Tis. It is. I don't think I successfully connected my Twitch to my Snapchat. I'm going to have to look.
Naka Williams says, John the First have I nice option, play Schmidt Eric in a bullet match 1+0 so we can see him without feating.
Aha. Does he only play... How is Ron Hay doing? Ron Hay is not doing. I actually thought that we were going to move in this direction, but he has to move in that direction
NM
first.
John MacArthur says, a dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub-badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at.
I did talk to Chris recently. I most certainly did talk to Chris recently. I don't know if that was
Arsenal
necessary, right? Was that
says,
necessary to move
he?
that rook? He could have just moved this, right?
Arsenal fan Richie says, does he still play chess?
Oh, he does enjoy chess. I think his work, whatever he does for a living, has fully occupied him. Real life, etc. We all know how that goes.
El Nathan 1823 says, yay, that's why. Why would the 2500 lose? I mean, there is a chance, but 2100 to 2200 OTB to online is basically 2400 to 2500. So if a classical game, I'm not saying that the CN will defiantly lose, but there is a better chance for the 2500 random to win.
Mm-hmm. So I also want to mention one other technique that is possibly happening here that Arsenal fan may or may not already realize, is that on occasion I will coach students during games in bullet and time controls that they cannot win at, just so that they can talk through moves with me and or execute them. But then they have to play 2/3 of the game themselves. I will admit that I will talk them through a certain portion of the game. I know that it's probably a violation of terms of service, but at the same time,
El Nathan 1823 says, what is your best gamma mode?
yuck. I don't know what
Arsenal fan Richie says, I'm aware of that, and I am not opposed to that. But 99% accuracy for half a dozen consecutive games is something even Magnus wouldn't get playing these.
Thank you, Richie. I was just wondering
Arsenal
what your
fan
opinion
Richie
was of that,
says
because
he
in a
would win
way,
all of them,
I am sure, but I have to do it in a way in which I know that they are not going to win the game, unless they actually have some, and they can, technique of their own. So if they can actually win with an extra queen, then they will be able to perform.
Naka Williams says, Smid Eric wins again.
Indeed, he does. And this time he played the St. George defense.
Arsenal
So,
fan Richie says, I think Lee chess allows casual play to do such things.
yeah.
Arsenal fan Richie says, maybe scouring lobbies is best way.
Did he really get a
Nika Williams says
99 again?
98% of course. Arsenal fan Richie says, I had an OTB opponent get 99% against me. I had 94% in a recent tourney game.
Luke, we have another shot, sir. I'm not going to play into that
Nika
line
Williams
again.
says, but like 8 games in a row. Arsenal fan Richie says, it can happen, but yeah, very rare.
I mean, your opponents have to be total, what's the right word? I mean, your opponents could literally allow 4-move checkmates and whatnot.
Nika Williams says, but not for a 2000. Arsenal fan Richie says, bunnies yeah.
Because I was also shocked when I recently, so now in this position,
El Nathan 1823 says, are you going to report him Chess Dojo? Oh yay BTW, what should I call you as a name?
John indeed.
Nika Williams says, John.
As Eileen Lee, who we rated yesterday.
Arsenal fan Richie says, he already did.
You can always call me,
El Nathan 1823 says, oh. Arsenal fan Richie says, I did as well, he will get banned, no sweat, just a matter of time. Nika Williams says, you should also do, otherwise he wins also this tournament.
I mean, they are a little slow today. We have had people banned before the end of the tournament previously.
Arsenal fan Richie says, can we get an adjustment to the TTS announcement of usernames before chat? It might help chat flow better. Arsenal fan Richie says, if they weren't announced.
That's a great idea.
El Nathan 1823 says, no comment.
I wish each user, oh, by the way, when I do pay for this, each person can choose their own, I believe they can choose their own names, which is the cool part. All right. I know that knight to b5 should be very, very good for me.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I will change my username to Mila Jovovich fan Richie.
Where is that knight going?
Arsenal fan Richie says, going to cry.
It's going to cry.
1823 says, bro, all the accounts I made in Chess Commonly Chess is literally a name suggestion from
AI.
Nika Williams says, lol yeah, my knight is bit stuck. Nika Williams says, yeah, I can resign now.
It's pretty awkward.
Arsenal fan Richie says, no, you can keep going. I don't think it's resignable.
We have great support here.
Arsenal
Absolutely.
fan Richie says, it's just difficult.
It is just difficult. The King's Indian is always lost. So therefore, you should never think that you need to resign. Otherwise, you might as well resign on the 6th move. But you played this line with knight on b to d7 against me before, or no? You should really play the Mar del Plata variation. With knight c6 and e5, and just play the main line. As the saying goes for... As the saying goes for...
El Nathan 1823 says, oh man, I haven't fought today.
You haven't? I thought
Arsenal
we did.
fan Richie
Echo Rift
says,
has not
I
fought
respect
yet.
you playing properly, Nico. People like you are the real ones benefiting from these arenas. Where you place is irrelevant, but grinding out these games and thinking and keeping trying is what pays off long term. Nika Williams says, thanks man.
I mean, we're all here to become better.
Arsenal
Ultimately.
fan Richie says, you're welcome.
Ultimately, we are all here to try to become better at chess. I don't know if I saw the point behind f4. So, word to, I'm sorry, who was I just playing? Luke, right? You do not want to exchange off your light squared bishop for a knight. Just in general. Ever. Hardly ever.
El Nathan
in the King's Indian.
1823 says, it's not fun when you have a choice to pick a titled player but you didn't.
But the light squared bishop is usually kept by King's Indian players to sacrifice on the king side. Now this is a generic generalization. But on average, unless there is a very, very specific reason why you wish to exchange pieces, you should not do it.
Arsenal fan Richie says, oh, I played an FM the other day and lost in under 20 moves. It happens, no stress, ha ha. El Nathan 1823 says, is it Le Fong Hua? El Nathan 1823 says, or a random FM.
Well, wait a minute, what is Bill? Is Bill an IM? Bill is an IM, right? I would love for Bill Patchell, is who we're talking about. A relatively good mutual friend. I think Arsenal fan Richie could call him a friend, even though they may only know each other on stream.
Arsenal fan Richie says, it was a guy called Richard Webb. An English FM.
Not related to Simon
Naka
Webb.
Williams says, 3-1-4-1-592-653-5897-932-3846.
Now we're reeling off the pi. This isn't pi. Is this pi? 15926535897. No, I don't think so. That's not pi. I am a little short on coffee. Uh-oh. And I left my coffee warmer on. That was almost scary.
Arsenal fan Richie says, oh, I get it. That's the chances to one that Schmeet Eric play legit. Naka Williams says, I won against FMS but only Rapid and Blitz. El Nathan 1823 says, that is the year that Hen Levy Rosman became a GM. Jury Goose
let's
6
not
says,
be too
fine.
down on him.
Arsenal fan Richie says, I got a win versus a 3,100 once.
In order to become a grandmaster,
Williams
you
says,
actually
oh
have
yeah,
to learn
but I meant
how to play
OTB.
chess first. You cannot learn openings. You actually have to learn how to play chess if you wish to lay the foundation for becoming a
Williams
grandmaster.
says, but nice. Jury Goose 6 says, waiting for my Arthur Uzup of books to hurry and get here. Nika Williams says, Schmeet Eric 1 Argon.
I have all of my
Arsenal fan Richie says,
OTB
I got a few wins versus masters, yeah, they're kinda rare around here though. El Nathan 1823 says, Kama 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 Kama
Kama Chameleon. All right, let's see if we can find the voice library.
Bye. Have a great rest of your stream. Nika Williams says, he is toxic in chat from Lee Chess. Arsenal fan Richie says, chameleon.
What are we talking about that...
This is a sample
Arsenal fan Richie says, take care Paul, have a good day my friend.
This is a sample of the custom voice.
Cartman. Voice cloning.
El Nathan 1823 says, bro he is acting like he is playing fair and square.
Oh, interesting. All of them having been read. So this is the free voice. It's very tempting to not just continue using the free voice, right?
El Nathan 1823 says, imagine Jinxie gave you 300 subs.
Oh, what happened here? I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to create an invite code for someone to help me configure the VoxBot. Now we just need there we go. I'm going to whisper. What? Copy code. Interesting. That didn't work out so well. Voice library commands. Preferences. Right now, Arsenal fan Richie is leading the TTS leaderboard. Very good, sir. Having used more. All right. Paste.
El Nathan 1823 says 0.0000000001% chance of Levi Rosman becomes the World Cup champion.
Well, that's even hard for Magnus to do. Can you imagine? Magnus had a hard time. All right, Echo Rift. Last time I believe that we answered E4 with E5.
El Nathan 1823 says, let's go, I fight you.
I see. All right. When there's no pawn on C4, I kind of like this.
Arsenal fan Richie says, sorry, I was just reporting him again. I'm in that link now.
Yeah, I was just going to try. You have to create an account, and this actually will work for your stream as well, interestingly enough. I think I don't have a choice here but to play it this way. Can I play it this way? I think I can.
Arsenal fan Richie says, oh, okay, I will do that a bit later then. I have to go out for school run soon.
No, but if
Arsenal
you,
fan
I
Richie
think
says,
the referral
thank you,
code,
John.
Yeah, I think and then I'm going to try to figure out how to make you an admin for the Foxbot TTS.
Arsenal fan Richie says, many thanks.
Do I want to tackle this pawn? I want to just keep outposting my pieces on good squares. If at all possible, I'm just going to continue to outpost my pieces on good squares. I remember there was a section in Pachman's Complete Chess Strategy book about being able to go after what in the world? This is so weird. So he's threatening to remove the defender
says,
of this.
That's an irksome move.
Let's see how they choose to approach it. Let us see how they choose to approach it. Aha! I'm going to go for irksome in return. Look at your opponent's move, sir.
El Nathan 1823 says, bro, why am I a lunatic?
My queen only had one threat. Well, actually, it had more than one threat. Hey, Krapnik is here. Hey, bud.
Hi.
How are you feeling better? You look good.
I feel...
I have to take you to school late after the stream. We are on YouTube. Here, wait. Hold on, I have to refresh. Wait, where are you going? Come back here. You didn't see yourself?
El Nathan 1823 says, hello.
My grandson wants to be a YouTuber. If you can believe it.
Nika Williams says, he is scared.
No, he doesn't want to go to school. He's got 3 days of school left, and I think that he does not want to go to school. So,
Arsenal fan Richie says, I better go, have a lovely afternoon.
Richie, always a pleasure, sir. Hope you and the family are doing well. Between you, Ron, and of course
Arsenal
I was supposed
fan
to visit.
Richie says, likewise, good sir.
I was supposed to visit what's his name? Sorry, drawing a blank here. I was supposed to visit.
Arsenal fan Richie says,
blank.
KG2 RC2 I guess.
King G2, Rook C2, perhaps. I was really torn as to what the best continuation was because there are so many of them. Rook C2, Queen takes C2 is not so great. King G2, I was planning on just taking on G3 with check. That was the first thing that occurred to me. If King G won, I was planning on Bishop to E3 check. Oh no, then I would have discovered this is an only move. King to G2 is an only move. I mean, Bishop E3 was the real deal that I was thinking about.
Nika Williams says, guess who is also winning?
As well, he should be. When they are brand new to the dojo, you definitely have to go through a period of initiation. Where do I see? Oh yeah, recent members. Thank you all for being
Nika
here.
Williams says, yes, he is new.
It's unfortunate, but it is good. So of the people that joined today, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 new members today. Very cool.
Nika Williams says, 1 hour ago.
No, that's not necessarily. It could have been. It was more or less 2 hours ago. This event has been going for an hour and change. So when it's less than 2 hours, it always says 1 hour ago. The algorithm or the way it tries to say whatever it is, you know. Is he winning? This seems a little problematic. Yeah, he's winning. All right, some Gegenspiel, finally. You're really getting the works on. Hats on for me 12 minutes ago.
Jury Goose 6 says, this seems a little problematic. Yeah, he's winning.
Yeah, he's winning. Yeah, that was my assessment, all right. Oh, this is the real hat. This is one that I actually wear in the real world. I need to bring up some of the hats from downstairs. I should have a change hats. Sorry, Pegasus.
El Nathan
Whenever anybody sees those,
1823 says, perfect timing for the far.
I refunded a couple of those. For so many FAs, you get one free. So he does it again. Do you get a notification when I refund? That's the curious part. So the last two, I refunded. 3 FA, got 1 free. This is the last game, right? I think there can't be any more games than this. I scored 6 out of 7. My opponent has not yet been cut off because it has happened. It has happened before the end of an event.
El Nathan 1823 says, bite.
H3 variation, FD3 inaccurate.
Pegasus Sway says, is this new one?
So in general, in the chat, you're not allowed to talk about cheating in a let's just back it up a little bit. You're not necessarily allowed to accuse people of cheating in the generic chat.
Pegasus Sway says, the icon.
The icon. Who was it that had a great one the other day? Eileen Lee had a great Gigantify the emote. It is a new one. I actually think I created that one myself. Yes, that is one that I created myself. The emote.
Nathan 1823 says, bro, it's so clear he is cheating. A move per sec is 3 to 7 seconds, bro.
It's unfortunate if this is the way the world works nowadays. You have to try this and hope for B2. Now there's a clear indication. Anyone with their right mind would have gone for the pawn mate. Any normal human would have gone for the
John
pawn
MacArthur
mate.
says, a dojo legend and supporter of the dojo, Zalakai created and donated our amazing belt sub badges. Please go follow Zalakai and watch entertaining and educational chess content at Nathan 1823 says, please lead chess.
Namaste, everyone. It was very, very good. Congrats. I'm going to need some ID here, sir. I am. Chess City Academy. So let's just do a little research. He plays all variants. I mean, I admit that we did not necessarily challenge him. There were many of us that did not challenge him. 6 days ago, they had an event. Chess City. They have enough members that I cannot go back to the beginning to see when he joined Chess City Academy. But it is Persian. This one, it looks like it is Russian. Also Russian. So the smaller ones should actually indicate who his real friends are. And he's good. Eric, yes. Private club. Privyet. So these other clubs, these are students. These are student accounts. Rio, and Abel are all students. This looks like Hungarian. Well, translate selection to English. This is a private club for scheduled meeting. No kidding. You can also make the club not appear on your list. So I did make the Master Chess Dojo disappear so people did not register as members. I'm looking for someone in the team that I know and or that we all might respect. You know what I mean? So, for example, Sir Austin Powers, this is a youthful person. So far, no titled players anywhere in the general area. Dark on Blitz. Still haven't seen a titled player. Not even among the ranks.
Nathan 1823 says, respect power banana, banana.
So let's go back to the what was the Russian club? Shakhmatny. To have a Russian club without a titled player also seems very unusual. No titled players amongst these. And they should sort them by rating, actually, not necessarily allow you to look at them by rating. Anyone who uses these types of things in their clubs, I take it back. He is a coach. But, as we already know, where do we want to go from here? Any other? Is that Lichess? Any other Lichess streamer? Or IRL? I will take the first person that speaks out to a certain extent. I don't think we have enough viewers to be able to get into some of the popular. But we can always try.
Nathan 1823 says, can you make an arena tournament?
At the moment, I am more than likely going to be running.
Nathan 1823 says, 4 viewers is 4 reasons not to quit streaming.
For viewers. Namaste, though. I appreciate that, Ethan. We're going to head out real quick. I appreciate all of you being here. Cheers and ciao. We'll roll the ending credits for all of those new followers, and I really do appreciate all of you. We're at 6776. We picked up Rice Pudding, Pegasus for the 60 months. Namaste. And all the new people that have joined the dojo today, not unlike our rather sus friend indeed. All right, everyone. We are going to join the tennis IRL. Cheers and ciao. Thank you so much.